and a community to advertise yeah. I mean, you'll be surprised. I'm gonna send you the link to the channel afterwards, and yeah, you'll be surprised. There is a community of.
Is this about the lucid video that you have up, man? Like, are you talking about those communities?
No, not really. An interesting situation occurred actually yesterday. I was doing actually the same that I'm doing with you right now, but I went to a comedian's subreddit, right? And I wanted to, because you see, that's exactly what right? And somebody said, I'm still a little bit pumped about that thing. What he said, yeah, promoting your platform is not step number one to do. I mean, it's crazy. So you see, I'd like to start by asking you if you think that the fact that Red Hot Chili Peppers guys are so friendly and outgoing, do you think it's a representative of the band? Do you think it tells something about the band, the fact that people are so ready and friendly?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I feel like the band, radiates positive energy. So I think if you're a fan of them, you just kind of have to be kind of positive and good. Like, but obviously, you have your bad bunch. Right. You have a few that are like, terrible people. Like we encountered some at the concert, but most of the people that we encounter, it's awesome, and you just like make a new friend there, and it's awesome. So yeah, I would say that personally. Yeah.
What do you think happened with the bad ones that you encountered? How was it? Would you mind elaborating a little bit on that?
It was mostly just people trying to push front and to try to get closer to the band, and just trying to push when everyone was there before them. Right. Kind of just making a scene almost. A couple people had to get pulled out of the security, by security. We like nudged them along too.
You're talking about the latest show?
No. So this was the Auckland show. So the first show of the tour. Yeah.
Right. Oh, the first one of the tour, of the latest one, right? You were there, weren't you?
Yeah. I was like 3 rows behind the barricade. So
wow, yeah, that ain't bad. Yeah, so how did it feel to be present on the first show of the tour? It must have been a memorable event, wasn't it?
Oh man, it's one of the greatest nights of my life. Yeah,
wow,
like,
look at that.
It's you can only imagine, right? It's something that's just something out of your dreams. You listen to them every day. You listen to them while you're just doing your everyday tasks. So, and then you're actually present to hear it live. And to feel it, and you just get the energy from the band as well, because they're right there.
Right.
It's amazing. It's something.
Would it be a fair assessment for me to say that this is your favorite band?
Oh, fully of all time. Yeah.
Wow. Which is, how long is the story? How long does the story go back with you and the Chili Peppers? That's what I ask people. I think you're the second person I'm talking with about Chili Peppers, and I'm really curious to know how.
The first episode was Rashid. Yeah. I'm halfway through that podcast.
Well, thanks for calling that a podcast. You see, I got surprised when the person yesterday said that my channel was a platform. I said, bro, that's anything but the platform. You can't call this shit a platform.
It's just people conversating about something that they enjoy in their personal life.
Yeah. That's fun. So how old is the story between you and the Chili Peppers?
Well, the story starts before I was even born, really. My father is a big time Chili's fan. So he grew up in his teens when the band was in their 90s, kind of before prime and still like going on. So 92 to 99. So he experienced all of it. Yeah. He was a big fan of BSSM. And when Californication came out, he was about 19. So that album became like his favorite, like classic, right? Every single song in that album he like can play on guitar on. So it started then. I was born in 2002. So when By the Way came out, I was born like 20 days after it. Maybe 17 days. Right. So By the Way came out July the 9th. I was born on 26th of July 2002. So it's older than me.
Right.
And I just remember, like driving, I'd be with my dad and he'd play something on the radio as we're driving down, hearing like Scar Tissue, Californication, Under the Bridge, all the mainstream songs that you hear on radio. So it kind of started there. Like they weren't my favorite band when I was a kid because there were so many other just.
You were pretty exposed to that music, right? Would you say it somehow shaped your childhood musically, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, because I started drumming because of music. So I would definitely say that has a big, you know, shape on my life, what it is now. But back to the story, I was I went to high school. Well, before high school, we had a thing called intermediate, which is like middle school for other like countries around the world. I'm not too sure how it is in Ukraine, but excuse me. I was listening to a lot of rock and metal when I was around 12, 13 years old, because I started playing drums, and that's what my dad was listening to. And throughout those years, I was listening, and then once I got to high school, I was kind of separated away from that music because it wasn't mainstream anymore. So I kind of felt like out of place listening to that type of stuff, so I kind of stopped. So that was around when Dark Necessities was out, the song, and The Getaway came out as an album. So that's when I really stopped listening to that type of music. And it wasn't until I dropped out of high school, which was 2020, but like when John rejoined the band, that's when I heard it. Like that's when I started listening to them again. And and then from that, it birthed something different, and I just dug deep into their category, like into everything. I started listening to even albums before John joined the band. I was listening to like Uplift. I was listening to all these other albums, and it just became such a like fascinating thing for me.
Yeah, I think it's a kind of a mark of a development of a Red Hot Chili Peppers fan, of maturity of a Chili Peppers fan, when you really start digging the first 3 albums, right? That's the moment when you truly fall in love with the band. Right.
Definitely, because it's like it's so different to what you hear on when you grow up and you just hear mainstream stuff. It's so different, and you would think like, man, this is not the band that I thought that, but then you're instantly attracted to it. Well, at least I was. Like, I remember the first time I heard me and my friends, I was watching the Woodstock '99 concert, the one with Flea's jumping up and up, like naked, and he did like a speech on guys touching girls and all this shit, and then like they just talking and
there's always appears to be some kind of deeply profound speech by Flea before they kick in a song like that, right? Okay,
it was just something, it exploded in my head, and I was like, oh fuck man, I love this shit.
For sure. And you would say that you kind of reinvented your lost passion for the Chili Peppers back when John rejoined, right? So well, it's mainly because I left high school and I got away from all the people. Did your musical taste kind of shift into some other styles, or were you still into rock?
So I started getting into hip hop a lot, and that's when I transferred over. So this is like when all the little pumps and stuff were coming out. I wasn't listening to that, but I transferred over. But also a lot of indie music as well, like indie artists. But that all changed once I left high school, and my perspective of my life changed, because I realized I wasn't happy listening to music like that, and I wasn't doing what I wanted to do.
Yeah, so I think this hip hop thing, this rappers, it's a problem, isn't it? You know, there's so many of them these days. It's hard not to get distracted to those rappers. Yeah, and then who knows what happens to your life, right? Today you listen to Lil Pump, tomorrow you pushing drugs or something. You gotta be careful with it, right?
Fully, exactly. You never know, man. It's tough with that type of music, but I'm glad I shifted away from it. I mean, I still like a couple of hip hop artists, but I mainly listen to the Chili's, man. That's all I listen to every day.
Interesting. It's really peculiar how the music directs you in weird ways, sometimes in mysterious ways in life.
Because I feel like I kind of drifted back into it more as to say that the music like pushed me towards it. I myself getting out of that situation pushed me back to what I actually truly love, and
especially if it comes down from your childhood, there's something mysteriously beautiful about whatever was happening in your childhood, and then reinventing that thing. It literally sometimes feels like coming back home. I can only imagine how it must have felt for you to be so widely exposed to Chili Peppers in your childhood. I mean, it's not something that a lot of fans can brag about. Having a parent who was into them and listened to them during childhood, that's a lot. It's really
I mean, well, you know, the band is quite older than the generation I grew up in, so there's not many of us, but the bunch of us that are here, man, we're passionate, and it's gotten to the point where I'm a bigger fan of my dad, man. Like I've got I know songs that he doesn't know. I listen to B-side albums that he doesn't listen to, and like I'm introducing him to Red Hot Chili Peppers songs to this day, and it's like it's just such a like crazy, you know,
life cycle, right?
Flip of the page. Like yeah, exactly. It's insane to me.
How did it feel for you to bump into the news that John is returning, that John is getting back? Must have felt pretty surreal.
Well, that's the thing. Like for me, because at the time I wasn't into the like as much as I now. I wasn't into the Chili Peppers like that much. So for me, it was kind of just like okay, the main guitarist is back. You know, I wasn't like a die hard. And then like once I started getting into the music, that's when the passion came for it. So instead of having that initial feeling of oh my god, he's coming back, I had to take my time to approach that certain level of respect and acknowledgement that wow, he's back. And man, when he came back, it was insane.
Yeah. He returned with the Black Summer, if I'm not mistaken, single, right? Which kind of exploded the community and the internet a little bit. And this thing is, see, the reason why people like Black Summer, in my opinion, because it manages to nicely combine a bit of a mainstream and still have that common thing about Chili Peppers, that rock soul and the funky groove sometimes, you know. So I think that's pretty much the reason people love it.
It has the elements of everything that you want, like for a diehard Chili Peppers fan and for a mainstream or for like a casual listener. It has everything that you need and everything you want. I wasn't the biggest fan of Black Summer when it came out,
really,
like, to be honest. I liked a lot of the other songs on the album, Unlimited Love, but now, like, I heard it live and it was just mind-blowing.
Wow, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think, if I'm not mistaken, people gave a little bit of shit to Not the One, which, if I'm again not mistaken, also was a single, wasn't it? Right? Not the One was the single. So I think people perceive that somehow mixed. What was your opinion about Not the One when it came out?
I didn't mind it. Yeah. I mean, I liked it more than Black Summer. But it wasn't those two singles. I didn't like. I was just because at the time I was so infatuated with their old albums that I didn't really have time to listen to the new singles that were coming out because I was just getting into, you know, I was just getting into By the Way, I was just getting into Californication, Blood Sugar. So for me, it was just like, oh, I want to listen to this catalog first before I venture out. So I didn't have any time for it. But now that I do have time for it, yeah, those two songs didn't really speak to me the way that some other songs on the album did.
For sure, Black Summer was a big hit. Still, I get to hear it time to time on the radio and some stores it's coming out of. So that wasn't bad. Prior to these last two albums, what album would you pick up above all of them? What would be the number one for you? Would you say Blood Sugar Sex Magic?
It changes all the time.
Yeah, really.
But right now, it's Blood Sugar.
Blood Sugar, yeah. What are your top three from Blood Sugar?
Number one's My Lovely Man.
Ooh, that's an interesting one. Yeah, you don't hear about that one too
You don't really hear that. Yeah. But that song just speaks to me, man. I love that song so much. Two, I'd probably say Funky Monks.
Hell yeah. But such a pity do not perform it too often on their gigs. Yeah, you don't hear them. You don't hear that song out too often. Except for that one time
that the fan requested it.
Fan requested it. Give me a little bit of details.
To play it. Yeah. I was just a YouTube video. It was their like third, fourth time playing it live. I'm not too sure if that's correct, but they hadn't played it since like '92. So it was like in the 2000s. I can't really remember the concept, but a fan won a radio contest. And they get to pick a song that they perform live at the concert, and they picked Funky Monks.
Oh, really? That's nice.
And it was great performance.
Yeah, sure.
And three. It changes all the time. Right now, I'd probably say Apache Rose Peacock.
Fuck yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Man, such a melody to it. You cannot help but kind of dance a little bit to that one. Yeah, it just takes you right up.
Man, it's just so like and the trumpet and like Flea on the trumpet in that song's amazing. At the end sequence, it feels like you're actually in New Orleans or something.
I like the fact that your top 3 is not very mainstream. You don't get to hear something about Sir Psycho Sexy or something else, right? What people normally pick.
Like none of the songs on the album, like, I don't like.
Yeah,
they're all like hits.
Have you? So during, like during your kind of return, during your found fascination, once lost but then found fascination of Chili Peppers, have you ever gotten a bit tired of any of their stuff? After, sometimes it does happen, doesn't it?
Well, I think it's due to the fact that I just keep finding new stuff to get into, that the old stuff that I used to like, doesn't attract me anymore. So definitely, like, Californication, it has gone like way down now. It used to be my top album, like Around the World, all those mainstream songs I used to listen to all the time when I was in school, and listen to them now when I came back. But it wasn't until I started listening to Blood Sugar and By the Way that album kind of shifted for me. So yeah, By the Way definitely came up as soon as I started listening to a lot of the songs on there. So yeah, my love for Californication has dropped, but it's only due to the fact that my appreciation and love for those 2 albums have come up. Like, that's the only reason, because I still love that album. Like, there's no like.
Yeah, I would also like to ask you, because I've been thinking about this question myself a lot. Do you think that currently us fans, people having this endless access to the music, this whole abundance of bands and music, and how instantly we get access, do you think it's a good thing or a bad thing? Because you see, I think partly the reason why we fall in love with those bands from our childhood is because it's not like we were swimming in the options. You see, we just personally, when I was getting exposed to Chili Peppers, I had this limited mobile internet, and I had like 20 megabytes per day, so I could download only like 1 song a day. So I gotta be real careful with picking up 1 song a day. Imagine it's like you have a Spotify subscription right now, you could listen to only 1 song on Spotify a day. That would be crazy. And you kind of fall in love with whatever you listen to, because it's your only option. So do you think having access and options is a good or bad thing currently?
I think it's a bit of both, honestly, because there's good things and there's bad things about it. I would say, man, I couldn't ever imagine living where I had to take my time and choose carefully what song I wanted to download, because I didn't have access to it. But at the same time, that access to it's better for the band, and it's kind of better for the fans, because you just have so much access to this catalog of music that's so diverse, and everyone can find their niche. And I feel like that's kind of really good, because when you're like, say you're living in the 2000s, you had to buy CDs. You don't know what you're going to hear on the CD unless you've heard it before. So it's a very big risk. But nowadays,
in the cover, whatever, somebody has told you something. Some rumors. Interesting.
But everyone's different, so them telling you that, it might not resonate with you the same. So nowadays, I think it's a good thing that you have that unlimited access to anything, because you can really find your niche right away. But then there's also that mystique about it that goes away and disappears, because when you do find that album that you really like, you bought and you trusted in, and then it speaks to you, I think it has that bigger impact on you than it does now. So
good
and bad things.
Do you think you could also close something on your phone, because the connection seems to be a little bit jumpy at times? Maybe there's maybe something else is using Wi-Fi, because I got a message. I think I got a message that the connection.
It might be. I just turned off my phone's Wi-Fi, so maybe it will work better. If so, I might have to change rooms. But I do have 4 bars, so let me know if it keeps coming.
Yeah, let's give it a try right now.
All right.
Have you? So from New Zealand, you said you're in New Zealand, aren't you? Right.
Yeah.
See, it's interesting, because this country, I was going to start the conversation on an appreciation note, but an appreciation for the fact that you guys always the first to drop something fresh, something quick off the bat. You're always the first one to drop that, because somehow with these time zones, you guys get the early access. You lucky ones. You really lucky ones, because you see, that's where I go. I need me to find a New Zealand dude who would drop some shit from YouTube on Reddit immediately. That's how I listened to Black Summer, I think. It must have been you, actually. Have you ever dropped anything early to the Red Hot Chili Peppers subreddit? No.
The only thing I've dropped are like for the concert, like security measures that people should look out for, so that in case they wanted to bring anything in. That's the only thing I've dropped early to help people out.
Right.
I haven't really dropped any of their leaks or anything.
Okay.
I usually just wait and see it for myself.
Oh, really? So you're the kind of person who would wait for the official release?
Yeah, because it kind of ruins the mystique for me. It ruins the,
you see, I'm totally opposite. I'm impatient. You know, I can't allow myself to wait. Even if we're talking about 3 days, 1 week, I go hard on those leaks. And I felt bad. I used to feel bad. It was up until the moment when Anthony, on one of the podcasts that he's recently done, he said that his person, I think it was Rogan. He actually went on Joe Rogan. He said that, yeah, he's all right with leaks or something like that. Yeah, so, yeah, because I felt so bad. You see what I did? I did a stupid thing. Maybe I shouldn't be speaking about that publicly if this thing gets any sort of attention, because I remember when the last album was leaked, man, there was one person who leaked it. I must have been probably the first one who downloaded all those tracks for free, and then I just went on a subreddit and I was like, give it left and right, like, yo, anybody who wants it, hit me up. I got the link. I got like freaking 50 people hitting me up on Telegram. I was so happy because I felt literally like I was standing on the street handing it out to anybody who wants it, right? Yeah. So it felt pretty nice. I felt important. I hope not. I was kind of spreading the music, you know. I was sharing the love with people.
Yeah, you're spreading the love, man. You're spreading the love. You're not leaking anything. I mean, they're not going to lose any more money than
I think
they're going to already get. So it's not going to affect them anyway. I mean, like, it's not. If people want to hear it early, man, that's a good thing.
I think so.
You know? It means people are excited about your album. That's good.
Yeah, and I felt like I was somehow also involved with the band. It felt like I was some sort of, I don't know, manager or producer when I was just giving the tracks.
Inside only.
Yep, and people, how grateful the fans were, and you see this first reaction, you know, the feeling when the band has. There's no better music than a new album from an old band, which you really have appreciated for a long time. That's the best kind of new music.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's always you get butterflies in your stomach waiting for the album to drop, because like you just don't want that. You just
do you trust your first impression when you hear an album, or do you give yourself a little bit of time for that thing to sink in?
No, I give it time. I never trust my first impression.
Yeah,
I never do, because I'm continuously changing every day.
Right.
So, you know, I mean, I wasn't into Unlimited Love at the start of it. It wasn't
not at all, really.
Oh no! There were some songs that I was into. White Braids, She's a Lover.
Man, White Braids, I can speak forever about that. How beautiful that thing is.
Such a beautiful. Did you hear the explanation on Rogan about it?
White Braids. Let me think about how Anthony came up with the track.
Yeah, so it was about a lady and it was like a couple.
Yeah, an old couple that Anthony bumped into back when he was dating some girl or something, right?
Yeah. Oh, they were in like, I don't know, I think they were in like Netherlands or something. But yeah, it's because the old lady had the old man had the white braids.
The
old
man,
beautiful. Yeah, so he had beautiful.
Some kind of Albus Dumbledore from Harry Potter, right? Some local wizard, probably, right?
Yeah.
Nice.
And the lady, she brought a chair, like a pillow chair, to the cafe to sit on, because, you know, comfortability. Nice. So that's where it came from. I think it's a very beautiful song, and when I heard that, it just made it even more beautiful for me. Just the thought of an old couple that's been in love for so long. It's beautiful.
But you see, when you listen to that song, it's so on the spectrum of associations, and it feels like maybe it's just like that. Would you sometimes hearing like kind of official explanation of some song even ruins your impression a little bit, because you had already had your own perhaps vision, and then you get to hear, oh, so that's what it's about. Wasn't it Anthony who said, or must have been Rick Rubin actually, who was on Rogan's podcast? He said that sometimes, or may have been somebody else, he said that sometimes fans would approach him and tell him that this is what the song about, and he goes like, no, it's about this, and the fans go, no, it can't be about that, right? It's about this. So how fans give their own sort of vision to a song, you know, that's an interesting one.
I think that's I think that can be a good thing. And but it also like takes away from the artist as well, because everyone's attracted to a song for different reasons. Not everyone's going to be attracted to the song for the same reasons as someone else. So it makes a lot of sense as to why they would give their take. But to say that to Rick Rubin is kind of just like, you know, who are you?
Yeah. Exactly. Did you listen to that episode with Rick on Rogan?
Yeah. As soon as it came out, man.
Remember that wild story when he almost died? How he barely got out of his burning house. Holy shit.
Yep. Oh my
what
God.
was that?
Oh, that story was. I remember because I was driving home when that part of the podcast came on. So I was driving home and I was like, wait. That was my initial reaction. Huh. I really like this story about how he was getting into yoga and eating healthy, and man, the way he looked at in the 70s is shocking compared to when he, the 90s, and he's got his full on like Dumbledore,
right,
glasses.
Right. See, I feel like he is not making an impression of a true professional. Like, I mean, he probably doesn't know really much about like music theory. I must be probably pretty wrong. He's pretty experienced at this point. But what a lucky thing he gets to do. He basically just approves music that he likes, and music that he likes happens to be so, I mean, fairly mainstream, but also. I mean, a lot of people just the albums that he produced, man, like Kendrick Lamar, System of a Down, Chili Peppers, holy shit!
But there's a reason why it's mainstream. It's because it's just good.
Just think about how cool it is for you to do something like that, to actually produce music that you really like, and you don't gotta have a university degree about that or anything. That's a crazy thing to do.
I mean, that's a once in a lifetime kind of gig, like. Only people with his natural like intact for that kind of stuff could do that.
Yeah,
it takes a special person to have his mind and to be able to do that. So, hats off to him, man. Incredible
how it always works out. And bands, artists, they just have faith in him because they know it's like if he approves it, it's definitely going to be good. It's definitely going to be good. Nice. I was
You were saying, sorry?
I was really happy to know that Rick was involved with these albums, right? These two last albums were produced by him, right?
Yeah. I mean, for me personally, Return of the Dream Canteen is a good album. It's not a great album. I think Unlimited Love is a great album.
Really? You find it better than the last one? Yeah.
Yes.
Interesting.
There's gems on that album though. I can't deny that. But the way Unlimited Love speaks to me right now is
it's also the fact that it was the first one after the break. Probably that plays kind of a part because it's kind of awaited. It's much appreciated because of it's the return of Frusciante. Have you listened to his latest album, by the way, which he just dropped?
Yeah. I recommended it to my partner. She's very big on like frequencies, noises in the background and stuff. It's really good.
That was a good definition of the album: frequencies, noises.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I don't want to shit on my boy Johnny, but man, that was something. Pretty drastic
it was
change.
Something different. Yeah. I mean, I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
I was reading the Reddit pages. Like John Frusciante has a subreddit, and not himself, but it's a subreddit where all his fans are, and they were all talking about his album, and they were all like talking about it, and like they were giving it words, and I was like, okay.
Are people appreciating it on that subreddit? Are they generally into it?
I would say they're into it, but it's very different, and it's
Do you remember his trick finger era when he was getting into that electronic stuff? When he had a trick finger nickname?
I'm not quite deep into that electronic era of John Frusciante quite yet. I've dabbled, but I don't know if I'm ready to transition yet.
Yeah. I think that will be.
I do like his stuff with Josh though. His stuff with Josh was very good. I do like that.
What's your relationship with Josh? That's a peculiar question to hear a fan of Red Hot Chili Peppers. I'm really excited to hear what you think about Josh.
I have no relations with Josh because I didn't listen to the Red Hot Chili Peppers when Josh was in the band. That's when Josh was in the band. That stretch was when I wasn't listening to rock in general, so I had no attraction to Josh. But I feel like now that I am into it, I have dabbled and I have gotten into Josh, and I do feel like, you know, he could have been treated a bit nicer.
Yeah, exactly, for sure. I do have the same impression time to time. It's not like being in the probably biggest rock band in the world is a bad treat to start with, but surely the way how they kind of sack him, because it felt like he got sort of, I mean, didn't get retired, but he just got fired. That's how it felt. That's how it felt.
It could have been like a discussion amongst them. It could have been a question that was brought up, and you know, they could have had a talk about
hearing those stories, how Josh explained it, how the guys explained it, felt like a bit of a cheating on Josh. Like the thing had already started going on with John, and then Josh was just brought to the fact.
Yeah, it's kind of like a cheating scandal.
Yeah.
Like a relationship.
Like Josh got heartbroken somehow, you know, and that message tends to pop on the subreddit time to time. Like every now and then there will be some guy, some sorry guy who said, man, I feel bad for Josh. Somebody who's just reminiscent about Josh.
Man, I mean, it's all good, man. Josh is doing his thing, man.
Yeah,
you know, he's pouring with Jane's Addiction, so he's good. Like, he's fine. Yeah.
Have you gotten into his solo stuff or his band stuff, that Dot Hacker?
No, I haven't.
Oh, man, it's yet to come. I think you will have appreciation for that.
Stuff,
I think you will definitely get in there.
Probably. Yeah. I mean, I'm starting to get into their albums. I'm starting to get into I'm With You and The Getaway, so I'm probably going to get there eventually.
How do you evaluate The Getaway versus I'm With You? For now, which one would you pick first?
I'd probably say The Getaway.
The Getaway,
mainly because I just have more songs that I listen to off that album than I do I'm With You. But then again, it'll probably change next week because I haven't listened to it properly. I haven't given it the time of day that I usually do give it. So that'll probably change, man.
I'm sort of envious how you're saying that you're getting there. You haven't given it a full listen to some song. I'm really envious because it's like, you see, it's like I have seen that movie and you haven't, and it's the experience is, is yet to come. So it's good. It's really cool. Yeah, The Getaway is a good one. The Getaway is a good one, and I'm With You is a good one. But I'm With You, as far as I could recall, back in, I mean, what was it, 2010, 11? It kind of disappointed a lot of people. Yeah,
I did read a lot of stuff about it. It did seem to disappoint people, but now it seems like there's a big group of fans that are clustered toward that album, but there's probably a lot like that. So
sure,
who knows, maybe in five weeks it'll be a hit amongst everyone.
Right. Is there like, would that be one thing that you would like to change about the band? Maybe something that you can't quite get along with? Anything?
I'd probably just say I just want to hear more Blood Sugar in the live tour.
Yeah,
and more like, not the mainstream songs, more of their fuck, man. There's just gold, man. They're nuggets. They're just gems. They're so good, man. If people gave it a proper listen, it could really move people. But that's just my opinion too. So I can't say anything about the band now because I don't really have an opinion on what I'd like to see. But that's the only thing I would like to see at the moment.
How many live shows have you visited? One. And during that live show, did they give any Blood Sugar Sex Magic tracks?
Yeah, we got I Could Have Lied. That was great. We got Soul to Squeeze, but that's B-side, so I guess, I mean, they play that every night, so I guess that doesn't really count. Give It Away, of course. I think that was, I'm pretty sure that was it.
Yeah, must have been it. So that was the show back when they hadn't performed anything from the last album, from Return of the Dream Continuum.
No, they played Eddie, they played Tipper. And they played The Drummer.
Oh, really? The Drummer? Wow. It's not. Was it the premiere of The Drummer? Or they? Yeah. Wow.
Oh no, I think the premiere was the one in Los Angeles. I'm pretty sure.
Nice.
Maybe I can't really remember.
Yeah. Well,
the premiere of Reach Out was Dunedin.
Man, it's hard for them to go about picking the songs. What do you think is the process like behind them selecting what they're gonna perform? Have you thought about it? How they
Oh,
just get together and decide what they're gonna play now?
There's kind of like a theme, a pattern that they've kind of been following for this tour. What I've noticed is when the lights at the show are blue, then they'll play an around the world set, and when it's red, they play the can't stop set. So it's kind of there's kind of like a template that they follow, but they change up the songs in the rotation, but they don't play around the world and can't stop on the same set, and they don't play Under the Bridge and I Could Have Lied on the same set. They have some other songs that they don't play, but I think that's like they have a template they follow, and then they just add songs off the new albums that they want to perform, and then they add some bangers in there. Californication and Right on Time seem to be the two songs that they always perform, and then Give It Away, of course. So
a lot of excitement when they hit us with Scar Tissue. You know, I've always got this penchant for Scar Tissue live. Yeah. See, the beautiful thing about Frusciante, it's like his solos are never the same. Like whatever, like, I don't think I've heard one kind of solo that would be totally identical to the previous one. It's like he always comes up with a new solo.
Yeah. They're always different. That's what I love. It's never the same. It's never the studio version. It's never the same as the live show from before. It's continuously changing. Even Flea's bass line or bass licks that he throws in, it's continuously changing. The way Chad, like, you know, the way he does fills, it's always changing. That's what I love about the band. They're continuously changing. It's not the same thing over and over again. And you're always surprised. So, yeah, incredible.
How many more albums do you think we'll have?
I'm not too sure, man. Maybe one or two.
Yeah, that'd be good.
At most.
If we get two,
that would be good.
Yeah, we shouldn't complain.
Two is good. Two is good. I'm not reaching out, you know, asking them for like 5 or 6.
Oh yeah.
One or two is good.
Well, who knows? Because considering how productive they've been this time lately, who knows? We might have like 2 double albums. That would be amazing. You know.
Oh, that'd be great. Maybe 2024.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Oh, that would be nice. Yeah, or maybe a little bit of, I don't know, unreleased stuff. What's your opinion of that? Besides from I'm With You, you probably haven't messed with that too much. You know, there are these.
No. I'm only dabbling into the B-sides of By the Way and Blood Sugar at the moment.
What would be the B-sides of By the Way? Remind me.
Oh, I'm not too familiar with the names. I'm just listening because it's on YouTube and they just have like a playlist. So I just listen to it at work, and whatever I like transfer over. Right now, I'm currently into the BSSM B-sides. And
those B-sides, it's a different story. It's a really different movie. And a lot of fans rightly wonder why they do not include some gems from B-sides into main records, because some tracks are fantastic, right?
Sika Mika Nico is one of my favorite songs right now.
Really? Yeah. That's a nice one. You know what you gotta listen? I previously, when I talked with the first person about Red Hot Chili Peppers, I came up with something about Eskimo. Do you know Eskimo? You ever heard Eskimo?
I haven't heard it.
Man, you gotta, after this thing is over, you gotta go to YouTube, check out Eskimo. I'm in love with this shit.
Eskimo.
Yes, I was gonna say something about ice cream. Yeah, you gotta check Eskimo. Yeah, that thing is
Eskimo. No,
I don't even know what era that is. Must have been Californication. Something.
It sounds like a By the Way.
Like, must have been from back in those days, something like. But it's so mellow. But at the same time, when the chorus comes in, it's powerful and rocky, amazing. Yeah, I love that shit.
Well, there's another B-side that I've got into that's very mellow and very like how you describe it. So I think it's Million Miles of Water.
Isn't it from Stadium Time? No.
Yeah, from Stadium.
Yeah, Million Miles of Water. Yeah.
I think that's what it's called. That was really good. I gave that a good listen. It was great. That's just,
man, there are so many more songs for you to discover from these following eras. Yeah. Holy moly, that's a good one.
I can't wait.
For sure. Interesting. Yeah. So. Yeah, I could only imagine how magical it was for you to get in the concert. You know what I like asking people when we're talking about live gigs? If they had to wait for a long time before Chili Peppers got on stage, how long had you been standing before Chili's got on?
Do you mean in general, or when we were already in the stadium, like Post Malone's performed?
Oh, you've seen Post Malone actually before, warming up for Peppers.
Yeah.
That's also a good artist to see, you know.
Oh, he was great artist to open before the Chili's, man.
Yeah, so what was the time span before you saw Chili Peppers coming on stage?
About, I'd say an hour and 15
That's
minutes.
nice. You know, you got it easy. I don't know if you got to that moment in the previous podcast. My ass was standing on his feet for like a whole day. You know, I got there at 9. They opened the stadium 9 in the morning. Probably Peppers got on stage 8 in the evening. So I was like, you see, it was surreal feeling for me because I was dehydrated like a bitch. Pardon my language. You know, for some reason, those guys who run the venue, they did not allow any bottles, nothing like that, as a prevention means from, I don't
ridiculous,
know.
Dude. That's crazy. The same thing here. It's the same thing here.
They got to change that shit.
Saying that, and saying that, that was, in general, we were waiting in line outside of the stadium since 12 o'clock in the morning. So me and my partner, 1 o'clock. So me and my partner were waiting at 1 o'clock. Some people were waiting at like 8 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
And I met a girl. I met a girl. She said she was waiting since she like came from Dunedin. She's been waiting since 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And like we were waiting in the line, and they start letting people in, but they're not letting us in because we've been waiting for like this whole time. We all have a numbering system, and they've just they completely messed it up. So we had to run in and then just sit. We had to get to the barricade as fast as possible. Right. So we ran.
Yeah.
So factor that in, and then we were standing for about 4 hours. Maybe 2, 3, 4, 3.5 hours, I would say, until we saw Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah. Which to me sounds like a fair deal. Just give me some water, you know. Just give me some fucking thing to drink, you know. I'm ready to stand for 2 weeks, you know. Just let me drink.
Man. Like, just let me bring my 1.5 liter water bottle in, so I can be hydrated enough. You know, it's ridiculous that they're only, but they can, sell alcohol so people can get drunk.
Yeah, that's a bit of a dirty move from them, for sure. Have you seen any other big artists previously live?
Yeah.
Cool.
We saw what's his name? We were supposed to see Kendrick Lamar. We didn't actually get to see him. He cancelled on us. Really? Yeah, he cancelled on us, man.
This current tour, is he still doing it? That Big Steppers tour?
Yeah, I think it's finishing soon, but he cancelled on us. He had 2 days and he only performed.
What was the reason for him to cancel?
Just the tour, they messed it up, like flights or something, and he didn't want to perform twice.
From the visuals that I'm seeing, that I keep seeing on Instagram, the tour, this whole thing, the stage looks amazing. You know,
oh man,
the whole show. He's got this whole crew of dancers with him. You know. Wow.
Yeah, it looks incredible. We didn't get to see him, but I haven't really seen like massive artists live. I've just really seen indie artists. I saw Gus Dapperton live in 2019. Not sure if you're aware of him. Really. Yeah, no, he's like a indie artist. What else have I seen live? I've seen Kehlani live. Not really my cup of tea, but for my partner. And we're about to see Flume live, which is coming up soon. Can't wait for that. He's like an electronic artist.
Yeah.
So
nice. Interesting. I feel bad.
By far, Red Hot Chili Peppers, my favorite of all time.
For sure. Oh yeah, I think. Don't you? Have you ever heard anything about them returning to New Zealand once again? I think they are frequent guests there, aren't they?
Yeah. Well, every time they're on tour, they do give us a visit, which is good. So maybe if they drop another album, they go on tour again.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Sure. How quickly did you purchase the tickets after the date was announced?
As soon as the tickets were live.
Yeah. Immediately.
Yeah.
Right. That's no-brainer.
Immediately.
Yeah, that's really no-brainer. I've read some complaints from people on the subreddit about prices being a bit on the higher end. Yeah.
They're the biggest rock band in the world.
Yeah, for sure. They got all the rights to
I wouldn't. I wouldn't expect anything, lower than what we got.
It would almost feel like for them to sell cheap tickets would be a disgrace. Yeah, I want them to be expensive for sure.
Yeah, it's a treat. Like You know, it's a once in a lifetime experience, so it better damn well be expensive.
Man, I'm about,
especially if you're getting Post Malone.
Yeah, I've been getting in touch with this person who has reportedly visited like 13 gigs or something, and we just can't have arranged.
I believe I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. Oh, it's the problem.
Is it the guy with the singlet?
I don't know. You see this thing about Reddit. I mean, I'm chatting with a person. I say, "Hey, what's up, my G? What's up, my man? How are you, my gangster?" And then the message I receive, "I'm a woman." You know, is this Reddit bullshit? They have weird profile photos. I don't got to check the profile sometimes. I'm a woman, and I gotta apologize. So I don't pay attention to the visuals. Yeah,
I'm a woman.
Yeah, that sounds like a threat or something. Yeah, that's the message lately received. I'm a woman, homie. You should call me a homie.
Homie.
Yeah, you know, I don't really want to reply to that message afterwards.
Yeah, no. I think you just leave it for a little bit.
Yeah.
Come back next week.
Yeah, let her reconsider her words, right?
Yeah, man.
That's crazy.
I mean, by all means, you greeted her with nothing but respect.
Yeah, I said, "What's up, my G?"
What's wrong with it? What's up, my?
And she says, "I'm a woman." Yeah.
I mean, that's how people. That's how people, you know, say hi to each other in New Zealand. So I don't see what's wrong with that, man.
I mean, I hope. You know, these days they all want to be like fucking getting into this pronoun stuff and shit. So at least she didn't hit me with some pronouns bullshit. Yeah. So so you know the guy who's visited 13 shows, right?
I know the guy who's currently on the tour. He's been to like every single show.
Wow.
I don't know what his name is, but he was one of the guys waiting in line at the very beginning of the show in Auckland. Yeah. So we were like, he was the one that started the numbering system, and everyone was like, you know, following his lead kind of, because he'd already been at shows and he already knows what happens, and he was right in front of John Frusciante, right in front of him.
Whoa.
Prime seating, man.
Wow. That's great. I never got to see John live. I saw Josh back in 2016. I saw them when Josh, seeing Josh was kind of cool. I felt like, I've said it, I'm going to say it a lot of times, Josh has greatly contributed. He did his best. But that would be cool to see John these days. It'd be really cool to see John.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Dude, I mean, I hope they come back to Ukraine soon, man.
I'm sure they were going to, right up until the moment these fucking idiots from the neighboring country decided to invade. You know, I said previously, that's the biggest reason to actually hate Russia. These motherfuckers spoil the whole fun, you know.
I can't see redhotchilipeppers because fucking Russians.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. And you know what sucks? The Russians over there that don't even have anything to do with the war. What if they wanted to see the show?
Oh, well, they're not getting there as well, you know, for sure. They're not getting there as well.
No way.
Yeah.
Man, I mean, hopefully you can leave to a neighboring country and go see them in like Italy or something, man.
That'd be cool. That's an experience. I was considering going to Poland. I think they have visited. They've been in this tour to Poland or something like that. Yeah.
If that's what you have to do, man, it might just be.
Yeah.
I mean, certainly if they announce another tour and I have the means to travel, then I'm going to travel.
Oh yeah.
If I go to multiple shows, that's bucket list.
Definitely. That's on the to-do list. But imagine what it must feel like for this guy who visited 13 shows. That's a different level of appreciation of being a fan, right?
That's like 5 or 6 different countries. Like he's spending a lot of money, man.
Yeah.
The tickets aren't cheap.
Yeah.
And the plane it's not cheap either. So
I wonder if the band is aware of him. What do you think? Do you think they've had this crazy guy who's following them everywhere?
I'm sure.
Do you think so?
Yeah, man. He has this big poster, and it says Funky Monks, We're on the Run.
Oh, nice.
Like
nice.
ROTDC tour, and it's got all the like Auckland and Eden, and he's like crossing it off every time he's been there. He's holding it up. I'm sure they're aware of it.
Wow.
They have to be.
Yeah.
He's at every single show, man. He's incredible. He's a great dude, man. I think he's from the States. I think he's from...
Yeah, probably. And just the way how he responded, if that's the same person we're talking about, being humble and just nice and ready to chat. Such a pity that sometimes we can't figure out the proper time to arrange that. I'd love to do it. It's going to be a hit for sure. Yeah, it's definitely going to
Oh, man, definitely. I can't wait to watch that.
Yeah, it'd be amazing. That'd be really amazing.
But, I mean... Do you... what was your concert experience like, man?
It's only one. Yeah, it's only one so far I've visited. Well, if we do not include into equation the fact that I was ridiculously physically exhausted and dehydrated on the brink of probably collapsing. It felt surreal. See, sometimes when something interesting happens in your life, it's something that had never previously happened, something that it's like one in a lifetime opportunity. Lately, the memories of it get a little bit blurry. It felt like something, something beautiful happened to you. You can't really get into much details. Yeah, I do got the videos. It happened back in 2016, so the videos kind of suck. But I remember like some magic happened to me. I remember something beautiful happened. I can't go deeply in details because it felt like a dream.
That's fine. Like a dream. It's you can never explain it to like detail, and you can never give it justice.
You just what it was respect like and you appreciate the fact that it happened to you and it's part of yourself, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's an experience you'll never get to experience again. And for me, I'm lucky that my partner came. She got to record everything. I experienced it live. I did no devices, man.
Really?
No devices.
Nice. Yeah, I didn't mess with the phone too much, for sure. I knew that thing is taken away from the experience in it. Mm-hmm. Nice.
Yeah, man. It helps that I was 3 rows back, but I'm also 6'5", so it helps. I got to see everything. No one was blocking my view.
Yeah.
So it was incredible.
Amazing. It's nice. Yeah, you gotta record a little bit just to make sure the memory's there, because sometimes some short bits you want to rewatch it. Yeah, some people.
That whole journey, was incredible. Mm-hmm. Like the journey to try getting into Golden Circle too, because. We originally had seat tickets, but we managed to, because one of my family members were working at the stadium, so we managed to get into the Golden Circle. They let us in. So
the Golden Circle being like the closest spots to the stage, like fan zone.
Originally we had paid for Golden Circle, but then we sold those tickets to get seats because something happened. But when that happened, we were like, okay, we're taking this opportunity. We're running with it. We've been here since 1 o'clock. Why not? We deserve it as well. So we took it, and we managed to get right there. Front. I was center right, so I got to see Anthony and John, right in my vicinity. It was great.
Do you think those sitting spots, those seats, they even make any sense? I mean, I don't want to say that it's totally pointless. Some people do like to sit and vibe.
Yeah, well, because. There's a lot of there were a lot of kids that were there as well. So I'd imagine families that maybe you couldn't find a babysitter or something, and you had to bring your kids. So.
I don't know. That doesn't sound like fun, right? Bringing a baby because you couldn't find a babysitter. Bring it. Although for the baby, I mean, you kind of nice. Like I'm sure your father would have wanted and liked you to be taken to a Chili Peppers concert in your childhood.
You are.
Yeah.
My dad just doesn't do concerts. But if he was 10 years younger, he would have been fine.
For sure.
Now. But I would love to take my son to a concert, if they're still performing when he's older.
What do you think would be a good age for a child to be first exposed to Chili Peppers? Because you don't want to spoil it in terms of, you don't want to spoil the opportunity. Because if your son is like, I mean, this kid's 5 years old. The fuck do they know? They don't appreciate it, right?
yeah. But I mean, I've already introduced him. Yeah, he headbangs to Red Hot Chili Peppers already,
nice.
Man.
Really? Nice.
He's not even 2 years old yet, and he's already headbanging to the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I've got him early, man.
That's an early start. That's a nice one.
Yeah, man. Have to.
Yeah. So would you be disappointed as a parent if your kid grows to be like a teenager and he switches to some, I don't know, I don't want to be disrespectful towards other genres, but like fucking pop or something? Would you say, no, it's fine, it's all right for you? Yeah.
No, not at all.
Oh, that's
he's his own person.
Sure.
I can't fault him. I can't fault him.
I'd be like, I don't know, I would not be that polite to my son.
I don't know about you.
Yeah. I'd be like, are you sure it's my son? Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Oh shit! Yeah, that'd be cool.
Hilarious.
That'd be cool. Nice. So those seats,
I wouldn't have a problem with it personally.
How people, they just see it. I mean, you can get some people get physically tired. That's all right, I guess. For them.
I could never sit on the seats with the Chili Peppers. What are you doing? I'm just lucky that we we clutched up in that sense that we got to get into the circle and stand, and I was so close to the stage. It was incredible.
Right.
It's great.
Let me dare to ask you about maybe if you could give me like your least favorite song, anything that you don't really dig, you know, you don't really appreciate of those albums that you've got into.
That's a really good question. I'm trying to think.
Anything like that?
Off of Blood Sugar, the only song I'd say is probably their Red Hot, but
still, is it off of Blood Sugar, right?
I mean, it's kind of like, Californication. There's probably quite a few songs that I don't really listen to. Can't really put a name.
I feel like Porcelain, you know, off of Californication, tends to get some shit from people. Like Porcelain wasn't. I think it's the closing song. It must be the last one. So Porcelain is specific, but then again, there is a place and a room in your mood, in your time of the day for Porcelain as well. Sure.
Yeah, well, I'd say the only like mainstream song that I don't like is Can't Stop.
You really don't like Can't Stop?
Yeah, but that's the only song I can think of. Like that because I've heard it so much. And that's the song that I used to listen to when I was a kid. That I've kind of grown out of it. And By the Way has so many other good songs.
Right.
Like,
for sure.
There's so many classics on that album. I really like, you know, like Dosed. Very good song. Venus Queen.
Yeah. Those. Isn't there some kind of a tragic backstory behind Dosed?
Yeah. Well, I don't know about Dosed, but I know about Venus Queen. I know the backstory about that. But I don't really know the backstory about Dosed.
You know what I'm thinking about? Why I'm thinking about some sadness behind Dosed? Or it must have been Venus Queen, I don't know. But I feel like back when Josh was in, they performed it to some dying patient of cancer or something like that. And it could have been, maybe you've heard that
was Venus Queen.
Venus Queen, right? Yeah.
Venus Queen's about their friend, I think it's Gloria, who died of cancer, and they like sent her, and they like bought a house for her at in Venice Beach. Yeah. So that's why it's called Venice Queen. Yeah. And that song's, I mean, I've had out of body experiences to that song.
Yeah. You heard that live? They perform it live? Probably not.
No way. I would have died if they performed it live.
Yeah, they didn't perform it live too often, did they? Right? No. It's not a common.
I mean, Slane Castle. Venus Queen is. I watched it like almost.
Crazy how Slane Castle is still this live still tops, right? And just imagine if we have second Slane, including this new tracks, right?
Oh, second Slane in Ireland would be pretty good. Oh man, that'd be good.
Yeah. Was it some sort of? Wasn't it some kind of promotion event? Did they do it for free? Wasn't Slane like for them to gather some money? You remember what it was about?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I have no idea. Yeah. I just know that it's one of the best concerts.
For sure, that's what we need to know. Yeah. Oh man, they left their bodies on stage for that one. They literally did everything perfectly.
That's what my father introduced me to when I got back into the Chili Peppers. He said, if you want to get into them, listen to this live. Wow. I listened to that live. And,
for sure.
You know.
Yeah.
There's other concerts live that I like, but that's number one for me, definitely.
It's like a whole separate record, it feels like. The intros to certain songs, you can't but mention the intro to Californication, which is pure magic. You know, I like talking with fans about the intro to Californication from Slane. Yeah, just fantastic thing. Amazing, really, truly.
Slane, I mean, the By the Way outro into Scar Tissues.
Yeah, wow. Beautiful.
Oh my god, that's incredible too.
Iconic.
And it's solo in Scar Tissue, it's a solo in Parallel Universe. Oh my god.
Yeah. Sure.
We got Throwaway. So we got Throwaway at our concert.
Really?
But we didn't get the outro jam.
Yeah.
I was really disappointed, man. I really wanted to hear the outro jam, but I guess since we got Eddie, it's all right.
Yeah, so, Eddie's a great track. I mean, I didn't dig it too much in the beginning, right after it was released, but then later there's something to this song. There's something beautiful to this song. Yeah.
As soon as I heard it, I was hooked.
Really?
You know, that intro, that By the Way intro, You know, it kind of sounded like everyone was comparing it to By the Way. I was hooked instantly, and when I heard that solo, like the last 2 minutes of his solo is amazing too.
Yeah,
incredible.
Yeah. Do you mess with One Hot Minute?
No,
not at all. Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, just Airplane. I like Airplane on that song. That's probably the only song I listen to off One Hot Minute.
Nice. That's interesting. That's interesting. You've got a lot of things to sort of rediscover once again for you. So I'm pretty envious. That's amazing. It's really amazing. When you sort of started hearing their lives, did you feel like it's pretty accurate in terms of comparison between their studios and their lives, or did you feel like there's certain kind of discrepancy and a little bit of the difference between their?
What I love, what I love about the Chili Peppers is that they make somewhat their albums very simple.
Yeah.
So that when they do their live shows, it sounds fucking amazing. They change it up every single show, and it's different, and it's not like the studio version. It's not like that. Because the studio, you know, when they play Zephyr song on the studio version, it's like, you know, just those chords. But then when John Frusciante plays it live, he's adding these like bends, he's adding everything in. It just sounds so much more. It sounds better. Like it's incredible. I love the live versions. I think it's great.
Yeah, it's kind of same but new, right? It's like new interpretation, and I think they understand it pretty well. I think they started understanding it a long time ago, and that's might have been at least partially the reason why they still rock and they're still successful, because they know that what's the point of just repeating the studio version on stage?
Yeah, because it'll get old, you know. You know, people wouldn't want to see the show anymore. No one will stand in line.
I think you mentioned you were drumming, weren't you? So you mess with the drums.
Yeah. I grew up as a drummer. I started playing drums when I was 8.
Oh wow.
And I started out in middle school. I was playing drums a lot, frequently. I was in multiple bands. And once I went to high school, I stopped drumming. So I think once I stopped drumming, my love for rock music faded away with that. But then I got back into drumming, and that's what got me back into rock music and back into Red Hot Chili Peppers. And that's what drew me in.
It's hard to find any hardcore Red Hot Chili fan who would not mess with any musical instrument. It's nearly impossible. All of our guys, do have something, right? I've got my beautiful guitar standing in the corner of my room, lonely, as I said previously. Yeah. But I do get it. You know, I have it. I play with it time to time. I'm by no means good with that.
Yeah. I've just recently learned how to play guitar.
Yeah,
and I'm by no means good, but I'm a much better drummer than I am a guitarist.
Yeah. Are you in any band perhaps now?
No. I'll look into it soon, but not in any bands at the moment.
Nice. What was your journey like when you were learning to play the guitar? Any courses? Just self-taught with YouTube?
No, YouTube and just like my dad teaching me.
Nice,
that was it.
Nice. What was your time investment in for you to get really noticeably better? How much time would you daily spend on it?
It's like my relationship with the guitar is on and off. Yeah, and it's like for like 3-4 months, I'll play it like once every day for like an hour. And then I'll just stop playing completely, and then I'll get back into it, and then it's just continuous cycle. Right now, I've been playing for the past like 8 months, and I've slowly been getting more into it, playing every day, and I'm getting noticeably better. But at the same time, I'm only really learning how to play songs. I'm not learning any like chord progressions. I'm not learning anything like that. I literally just want to learn how to play songs, and that's the only way I'm like.
Cool. Remember what Anthony said on Rogan's? He said that the reason why guys like Flea and Frusciante are so talented and good is because at some point in their lives it was the only thing they did, and I just respect endlessly this investment. Because it's so cool when you don't bump into people like that these days a lot of times, because we have so much on our plates and we're like, oh, should I play the guitar? But there's also a game to play, but there's also a new album to listen. And those guys, they just got obsessively mad with that. Imagine if the only thing you did, if you just made a decision you're going to be a guitar player, and it's the only thing you somehow pay your bills, get some food on the table, and then days in, days out, you're just playing. That's crazy. And I respect it so much, and no wonder they're so talented and good with that.
Yeah, respect. Nothing but respect, man.
Crazy.
I mean, I know I couldn't do that, and I'm a pretty decent drummer. I'm a pretty but I do not give myself access to 12 hours a day. I think they said Drum for Shante learned when he was 10 years old up until he joined the band. 12 hours a day. That's ridiculous.
It feels like childhood is the best time to do something like that, because what else are you gonna do, really? Because you as an adult man, you probably can't do it.
I feel like when you pick up something as intricate as an instrument or sport when you're younger, it's only natural that as you grow up and as you experience life, that when you're playing, you grow up with the instrument. Whereas if you get into playing in your adult life, I feel like it's not as persistent as it was in your childhood. So for me, I'm truly blessed to be able to say that I've been drumming for this long.
So what triggered that? What caused your fascination with drums? Is it music that you listened mostly?
Yeah, music, and the fact that I was an erratic child that liked to make noise.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, that's a common thing for a lot of kids, for sure. Nice. That's nice. What was the hardest during the journey of learning the drums?
The hardest part of learning drums is learning how to stay in time.
Yeah. Oh, the rhythm.
So from my progress from being a at-home drummer to playing in a band and playing in orchestras and playing as a preteen, really, just learning how to play in time. Even the most simplest beat can be so hard to play on time. So I think that's probably the biggest lesson I'll ever learn as a drummer, honestly.
Nice. Do you make any covers? Do you record yourself sometimes doing some covers?
No. I don't even have a drum set at the moment. We just moved, and we've just I need to buy a new set.
Right. Did you own it previously? You had it?
Yeah. I had to throw it away. It was broken.
Yeah. Interesting.
It was a electronic drum kit from when I was a child, and it was ruined.
Yeah. So how do you feel about some artists, I think Chili Peppers included, sort of replacing the drummer on some tracks with some drum machines? What was that? I think I keep asking people about My Cigarette. Do you remember that song from the last one, My Cigarette? Yeah. Do you think it's Chet on it, or is it some drum machine?
It could possibly be Chad, and then just electronic stuff added onto it. I could never see Chad, someone coming up to Chad and say, "Hey, we've got this electronic drum kit."
Yeah, that's not something you say to say. Yeah.
Get out of my sight! Why would you bring that to me? That just seems something like
Chad himself is a drum machine, right? Of a kind.
Exactly. He doesn't need a drum. He doesn't need it.
Yeah,
I don't see him doing that anytime.
For sure, and it's kind of, Do you think it would be disrespectful a little bit for Chad to be offered something like that, to be sort of replaced for a track?
It just depends on how he feels about it, I guess. I think it would.
Yeah, for sure. Probably.
I think it would be pretty disrespectful, man. You don't, when you have Chad Smith, you don't need an electronic drum kit.
For sure. What do you think about Kid's lyrics in terms of how a lot of people say that it's pretty much nonsense? It's everything and nothing at the same time. Do you personally prefer lyrics that are on point, that are certain about certain subjects, or something that it's like you read it and it's whatever it is? What do you think?
Well, he's got a mixture of songs of both categories, right?
Right.
Under the Bridge, I Could Have Lied. He's got a very good catalog of songs that have very deep and meaningful lyrics, and then he's got other songs that are just blah blah blah, it's just nonsense spewing out California every single second.
Yep.
So I think you just gotta it's up to your interpretation on it. Personally, I don't mind his California lyrics or his ding ding dong dang. I don't mind that.
That's fine.
I love it. It just adds to it. It's fun. Yeah, exactly. It's fun. Yeah. That's a great point. I never thought about it that way.
Yeah. For sure. He wouldn't be who he is, and they wouldn't be who they are without this nonsensical sometimes lyrics. Sure, that's definitely something.
Taking anyone out of that band, it's not the Red Hot Chili Peppers anymore.
Well, I was gonna say that, but then look at how often John got replaced. You know, I think even Anthony got replaced. We talked about that with the previous person somehow. So I mean, do you think it's about there's still like, is it still about Flea and Anthony being in the game in the band?
But I think at the core of it, at the core of the Red Hot Chili Peppers, that 4-piece will always be the Chili Peppers.
Undeniable.
So I think plucking them out, you know, taking one out, of course they could still be a band, but there will never be what they once were if that 4-piece is not together. I personally think once Chad Smith's done, I think the band's up. I think once he's, you know, finished, then the band just can't, because you can't find another.
Yeah, that's a common opinion. That's a common opinion. I've expressed this, I don't know, this apprehension, this fear sort of a way when Chad is done, then it's the time when the band is done, pretty much, because a lot of things depend on the drummer. Yeah,
that's just my opinion, man. Like Chad is, he's a very important piece to the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
He seems to rock a lot currently, seems to be all right, but then I do have hopes in my heart that even if when he starts to slow down a little bit in terms of his, I don't know, in terms of his physique and whatnot, then I have a feeling, hope that they may just slow down a little bit in terms of how progressive and quick they are and turn into something a little bit more mellow. They do have penchant for that as well.
Yeah, they do. I mean, he doesn't, you know, they've got so many songs where he doesn't need to be a crazy, funky, rocking drummer. Like, he can just play a simple beat and he'll be fine. Like, that's fine too. At the end of the day, they're still going to be, and as long as they're still performing and they're still happy, that's all that really matters to me.
For sure. Definitely. I love the fact that they've been pretty open in terms of interviews recently. You get to hear a lot of content with them. Was that last big one interview, 60 Minutes, I think, that they've done? Have you seen it yet?
They've done the trailer video. I've seen that,
Oh, yeah.
I think they release it tomorrow.
Oh, really?
Well, tomorrow for me.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which would be probably like 10 years away from me, right? I don't know how it works with you guys. Yeah.
We probably get it before everyone else.
Yeah, that's true. Well, listen, man, endlessly grateful. I think we're gonna wrap this bad boy up. It's already past 1 hour, so we've done a good job. I feel like, again, thanks again for agreeing. I hope it was fun. Certainly was fun for me. You see, conversations like that, they're always the best. It's literally like talking with your friend about something you both love. That's it. You know, what the hell could be bad?
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you too, sir.
Appreciate it.
Yes, when I drop it, which will probably be next week, I would say. Next week for me, so it's tomorrow for you, obviously, right? I don't know again how it works. I'm gonna send you a link for sure. I'm gonna send you a link, and you can check it. Yeah. So thanks again.
That sounds awesome, man. No, thank you, bro. I'll chat with you soon.
Yes.
Bro.
Okay. Sure. Thank you. See ya. Goodbye. Bye.